Today I'm continuing my Virginia field trip series. I think that's just what I'm going to call these, are field trips. They're not really travel vlogs, they're field trip vlogs. Is that a thing? Has anyone started doing that? I don't know. But today I'm here at the Virginia Living Museum. And in the last video, I don't know if anybody saw it, a couple times my fingers or thumbs were slipping into frame because I'm holding my camera phone. I have this today. So let's see how ridiculous I feel carrying this thing around in the museum. So what is the Virginia Living Museum? It's part children's museum, part zoo, part aquarium. Mostly it focuses on wildlife that is native here in Virginia. They've been open since the 1980s, I believe. This building is fairly new. It's opened in like 2006, but some version of this museum has been around since the 80s. Outside of the museum, we got this sundial that is supposed to help you tell the time with your shadow. You're supposed to, there should be like markings here as to how tall you are, and then your shadow would fall across one of these bars here. Unfortunately, there's no sun, so the excited boy statue, it's got an actual name. I forget what its name is, but it's basically just here is in honor of children and families that love the museum. And as you can see, he's keeping safe today. And of course, they're taking all safety precautions they need to keep everybody happy and healthy. Let's look at Virginia's coastal plain. It's a blue crab. Apparently you can find those all over Virginia. Pretty good too. Got the shark hanging up here. This is the only shark like this you will find in the museum. When it's safe to come here and just you don't have to worry about social distancing, this is a great place to just come and sit, relax for a little while. We got some Christmas decorations in their displays. Somewhere in here are a couple of skinks. Oh, I see one right there. Hey, buddy. Masters of disguise, Flounders. Able to disguise themselves as the bed of the ocean. And here's a fun little game. Just pause this and see how many flounders you can find. Well, there's one right there. And there's definitely one up there. And then I think I see one right there, kind of burrowed under the sand. And I actually do not see any over in this dark sand. It's a couple of puffer fish. These guys are actually kind of cute. Until they blow up. Now these guys are kind of cool. This is actually an invasive species to Virginia. These are called lionfish. I just know them from the Deuce Bigalow movie. They got venomous barbs there, but apparently somebody had one and dumped it in the Chesapeake Bay or somewhere on the East Coast, and now they are all over the place from like Baltimore down to Florida. Now normally this is a active beehive, but I think they have it closed down for the season. So maybe if I come back here in the spring or summer, we'll check it out. They have a touch tank but it looks like it is closed for the time being for safety reasons. You got some little fish in there, a couple of starfish, and of course, horseshoe crabs. And I just saw this poster here. Apparently, horseshoe crabs are now being used to help get a COVID-19 vaccine because of their copper-based blue blood. It's used to make sure that anything being injected is free from bacterial contamination. So that's kind of interesting. And again, when things are opened a little bit more, this is one of their interactive areas. So this kind of shows how a snake's fangs work. They're tucked back into the skull until the snake opens its mouth. Fascinating, but horrifying. This was another one of their interactive exhibits. Unfortunately, it also is closed. You can still see some of their taxidermy here. Again, different native species. And they also got some stuff showing insect life, different nests, what bugs look like on the inside. All right, now heading to the Piedmont and Mountains area. Oh, look at this guy here. Bo. Think just looking for some food. Hey, bud. What's up? This guy is a box turtle. Making our way to the water. Thinking about it. Thinking about it. There he goes. I think he's trying to come and see me. Northern pine snake. Apparently, if these guys feel threatened, they coil up, raise their head, and shake their tail in leaves, causing a rattling noise. It makes people think they're rattlers. But these guys are pretty harmless, non-venomous, just a little scared. I don't think I ever really stopped to appreciate this globe they have hanging up in here. These are their double helix stairs. They're actually kind of really cool. I'll take this opportunity to say, wear your masks correctly, everybody. But at least it is getting into the holiday spirit. All right, we're going to explore Virginia's underground. Next area is themed after like a Virginia cave, like Carlsbad Caverns. Really, really cool. I love it. So we're looking for this long-tailed salamander. The only thing I could find is this back here. Certainly doesn't look the same, but I think this is some sort of body temperature moderation, keeping itself cooler or warmer. So this is kind of a terraria room. It's kind of modeled after the mountainous regions of Virginia. It's actually a little cooler in here. So in the summer and in the spring when it starts getting warm, it feels really good in here. That's where all the noise is coming from. This salamander you can definitely see. It's the eastern Hellbender, hiding in amongst the rocks. This is one of the tiniest snakes I have ever seen. Look at the little guy. Oh my, you gonna make us YouTube stars? I'd love to, guys, but my subscribers are still only in the single digits. Maybe you can help make that better. Okay, I'm actually kidding. They seem very camera friendly. They quite enjoy the attention. A lot of animals here at the Virginia Living Museum that just love the camera. Now back there is their staff area. I believe that's also where they hold classes. I know I did them a couple of summers. They bring kids in, they teach them different things about nature. I think I did one about fossils. I remember going out and we had to well, we didn't have to, but we went and looked for different fossils. All right, we're getting ready to look at Virginia's World of Darkness. And there's supposed to be a flying squirrel in this exhibit, but I think even the dark room can't fool them. They're all asleep. We got some little tree frogs there. I remember one day sitting in my living room at home. I was much younger. I kept seeing something moving out of the corner of my eye. And eventually I looked up and one of these little guys is clinging to the side of this wooden chest we have in our living room. There's another much darker one. Oh, and there's another one right there. Again, doing a great job blending into their environment. Some nighttime aquatic life, including this cool little eel down here. It says there are sharks in this exhibit, but all I'm seeing is another starfish. And then I think these aren't horseshoe crabs. There's some other crustacean. All right, well, here goes some sharks here. These are actually nurse sharks, I believe. That just kind of skim along the ocean floor. So you don't really have to worry about them going on some Jaws-esque rampage. The giant lobster. Kind of hungry for seafood now. So there goes another nurse shark. But it's in here with some rays and skates. Whoa, they got the little legs there? That's weird. Okay, so these guys are kind of related to nurse sharks, or sharks in general, which is why they're all hanging out here together. Look at this guy kind of blending into everything. These little things are so cool. All right. just like the Piedmont area, the mountain area, we are in a room that is modeled after the Dismal Swamp or the Cypress Swamp. This is actually one of my favorite rooms. Normally it's a little muggy. It's actually not too bad in here right now. But let's go check out what they got. They got this guy right here. Not terribly big, but still really cool. And you can see all the scratches along the plexiglass here. As neat as this guy is, if there were not like 2 or 3 inches of plexiglass separating us, I would not be this close. They're like living dinosaurs. Unchanged for thousands of years. Oh, I think we found a creature who does not like the camera. Get away from me, nerd boy. Here's an actual rattlesnake. See its head and its tail right there. And it's kind of got this beautiful thing where it gets a little darker as it goes down the body. More turtle frames. Now here's what I was talking about at the Ripley's. This is the pressed pennies. The ones I remember. But unfortunately it looks like... Alright, so everything we've checked out so far is actually only half the museum. There's still a whole outdoor trail to go check out. This is where a lot of the real fun is. This is a neat little thing they have set up. Trying to track how many birds stop by to feed and in what kind of abundance, November through April. Kind of a neat little exhibit. I may have made a small mistake and gone through the wrong door to get out here. Always just double check that you're following procedures that these businesses have in place. Got some Christmas lights running along here. So they actually do a Christmas light display in the evening. And just maybe I'll be coming back to check that out. They got all these plaques that help you identify different trees. So the orange dot is a persimmon tree. I don't know if you can see it up there, but we've got a little orange fox, or I guess a red fox would be the technical term. They are really pretty. I've seen a few videos of people keeping them as pets, but seems like you really got to be on top of your game for that. And we got another one hidden up there. And there's actually a couple of signs asking people to be quiet. I guess this fox is new and getting acclimated to its new area. That enclosure actually used to hold an old gray fox. I remember that it just sort of, it just kind of hung out in one place. So I guess maybe it already passed away, but one of the things you'll see a lot here is that, you know, they take in animals that are injured or born into captivity, and they actually get a much longer life than they would in the wild. So you'll see some animals that are kind of in the twilight of their years. And here's someone just enjoying a nice day out in the sun. This is a coyote. Hanging out, not a care in the world. Another nocturnal friend hidden over there. The possum, or opossum. I've seen a lot more people sort of championing the opossum, which is great. I think they're kind of cute until they smile, but that's just me. They do have this little note here explaining about how some of their animals go into torpor, and so you might not be seeing them as much or as well. Kind of a popular exhibit. This is the deer and turkey exhibit. And sometimes it's hard to find the deer, and sometimes you just got to know where to look. Again, just enjoying a nice quiet day. Here's the bobcat enjoying a nice day out in the sun. I believe I heard this is a younger male bobcat. I'd love to see him go ape on that pumpkin he's got up there, but he seems to just be having a nice day. We got some American bald eagles, which apparently you have to get permission from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services to display them. I think because they are technically endangered. We got this eagle statue here. If you're a big Pokemon Go player, this is actually a Pokestop. I think they've got a couple of them throughout the museum. And it's actually kind of nice to just come here and turn your phone on and let Pokemon Go for a little while. I haven't played in quite some time. This good boy or girl over here is a red wolf. Apparently thought to be extinct back in the 1980s. They're being reintroduced in the wild thanks to captivity breeding programs, kind of like Virginia Living Museum. I know sometimes zoos and things like this are a hot button topic. Think of them what you will, but I think there are some places doing an exceptional job and trying to help reintroduce species into nature. I think Virginia Living Museum is one of the good places. All right, we're entering the aviary. Got this beautiful blue heron over here. And over here in the trees, I thought were originally some Christmas designs. These are actually, I think, baby herons. So I'm actually trying to keep my voice down because I think they wanted us to not make as much noise for these little guys. Kind of like this one right here with the wild feathers on top. I think that might be the mama heron right there. There are muskrats stealing the birds' food. and then darting back into hiding. And there's gotta be, there's a couple of them in here. This is probably one of the most popular exhibits. We'll see if anything's going on. This is the river otters. It looks like they've either just been fed or are in the process of feeding. Much like the raccoon and the river otters, I believe the beaver is hiding somewhere having a nap. Welcome to Dinosaur Discovery Trail. Alright, I joke, but these are really cool dinosaur models. Even though they seem to have gone a little ham trying to decorate. Oh, look at the little Triceratops. Santa's getting a little desperate for the holiday help. Now, I mentioned before I did a fossil dig with the Virginia Living Museum. And I think most of what we found was whale bones. Because I think around most of the time of the dinosaurs, Virginia was just underwater. Or what would have been Virginia. Allosaurus. I remember being younger and really liking the Allosaurus. And a big part of that may have had to do with the show Dinosaurs, if anybody remembers that besides me. The main hero, the main good guy, was an Allosaurus. I think it was also because everybody loved Tyrannosaurus, and there was this other dinosaur that nobody was really paying attention to, so I just kind of said, yeah, Allosaurus is my favorite. Well, now that's a little bleak. Got his head just coming out of the wall like that. But of course, as much as I wanted to like the Allosaurus, you really can't beat the T-Rex. It would have been kind of neat if they could have shown the two skulls next to each other. Remember in Jurassic Park 3, the Spinosaurus was this huge beast that could rival the T-Rex? Apparently, those movies aren't accurate. Put a scarf on all by herself. Clever girl. All right, I take it back. This is pretty grim. I guess they had to put some kind of holiday spin on it. It's good advice, but damn. Pterodactyl! Triceratops! Tyrannosaurus! Saber. Yeah, there's not really anything for a mastodon. It's not even an elephant. Sorry, Zach. So this is kind of a neat little exhibit, except I think it's closed. So they have kind of a neat little exhibit here. It shows if you wanted to live in not a greenhouse like where you grow food, but a house that is good for the environment, what all that would encumber or what that would include. Unfortunately, the exhibit is closed. But it goes through things about it talks about things like what you would use to insulate your wall, how to recycle rainwater, using incandescent light bulbs, things like that. Kind of a neat little place. I think the upstairs portion is still open though. So yeah, this just shows a little bit of it, like the solar panels you would use, how to treat lumber, growing plants on your roof. So before I mentioned that the museum's been open since 1980 something, but that the building we were in has only been open since about 2004. That's because this was the original museum building. It's now being used. It houses the Abbott Planetarium. It's got some more classrooms, more office spaces, I believe. So it's good that they're still reusing this smaller building. Basically, this is like a little colonial garden. And this whole area just talks about plants that are native to or grown specifically in Virginia. Also talks about what kind of plants that the native Powhatan tribes would have grown, what would have been used as food or lumber. So there is one species in Virginia that is not represented here by a living creature at the museum, and that's the black bear. But they got this statue here, and there's a little placard kind of explaining that to house an actual black bear, especially a full-grown one, they need quite a bit of space. More space than the museum really has to spare. But it would be cool to see one. We got this neat little waterfall here. You want to go inside of it? We can do that. That was the Virginia Living Museum. It's a place I'm pretty familiar with. I've actually been coming here, since I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, back when it was in the old building. But it is a fun place to check out. I think tickets for a day are only like 20 bucks. Same as the Ripley's, but I will be honest, I think I got a lot more enjoyment out of this than the Ripley's. At least the one in Williamsburg. If you're in Virginia, around the Newport News area, definitely check it out. It is worth seeing. Hopefully in the next couple of months, they'll start, we can start reopening to full access to things. So you get a lot more to experience. The touch tanks, the child interactive exhibits, things like that. And hopefully when you come, it's a nice day like today. It's getting pretty warm even with this jacket on. But that's all for me today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a good day. Oh, this some bitch only one way too. How that gonna work, man? Just taking a quick little mask break while I got some space to myself. I guess Po Buddy's nerfed.